Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, what might be some good news for Flint residents, the FBI has joined the Flint, Michigan water contamination probe. Now, they're going to explore whether any laws were broken in this crisis that has, of course, captured international attention. Federal prosecutors in Michigan are now working with an investigative team that includes the FBI, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, the U.S. EPA, their Office of Inspector General, and the EPA's Criminal Investigation Division. Now, of course, their governor there, he's been apologizing repeatedly for the state's poor handling of this crisis. And Peter Henning, who is a law professor at Wayne State University in Detroit, he's also a former federal prosecutor, he said it would be a challenge to bring criminal charges, though Michigan state law does provide some more options. Specifically, he cites Michigan's misconduct in office law and neglect of duty misdemeanor offense. Now, in Washington, the Senate is expected to vote this week on an amendment to an energy bill that is sponsored by Michigan Democratic senators. It'll provide up to $600 million to Flint. They're going to help replace the pipes and provide health care. And this article says that the measure faces an uphill battle in the Republican-led chamber. So, of course, this is another opportunity for all of you activists out there, everyone who's been concerned, all of you celebrities who sent water. Well, now it's time to take it the extra mile, stay on these people, keep their feet to the fire, and of course, keep calling your state reps and telling them to demand they do something for Flint. Now, Lord knows we waste taxpayer money on all sorts of other crazy things. And of course, I'd love to call on the auto industry who destroyed and decimated Flint, Michigan. Of course, the taxpayers bailed you out billions of dollars. I feel like the least you could do is, and you don't pay taxes here in the country, so the least you could do is help out Flint. I'm going to put that call out there. Now, here's something else that really pissed me off when I read it today. Parents are suing a school. They forced her daughter to convert to Islam for one of her assignments. So these are parents in Maryland. They're suing a public school administrators over concerns that a classroom lesson attempted to indoctrinate their daughter into the Islamic faith. Now, we have obtained these court documents. They're linked in this article up at Infowars. So they're saying that they were assigned lessons and homework in her 11th grade world history class. It required students to profess statements on the teachings and beliefs of Islam in written worksheets as graded homework assignments. They were instructed that most Muslims' faith is stronger than the average Christian. They also had to profess the Shahada, which is basically saying there is no God but Allah. And of course, the family took issue with this because they're Christians. And they say that their daughter was also instructed that jihad is a holy war waged on behalf of Islam as a religious duty. And they had to read texts from the Qur'an and learn and recite the 5 pillars of Islam. So this went on for 2 weeks in this class. And they say, in contrast, they spent about a day discussing Christianity, but they never covered the Bible. They never talked about the 10 Commandments. I'm sure they didn't talk about Buddhism or Hinduism or any other religions. Why 2 weeks? Why is this a world history assignment? Why is this happening again and again in classrooms nationwide? What is going on here? If they had made the class recite the 10 Commandments, they probably would have been sued, as we've seen again and again. What happened to the whole separation of church and state argument? Of course, you're not hearing it here. What is going on? Now, something else that's also really confusing, and a lot of people are now calling out the feds for this, our governor, Greg Abbott, and the U.S. Representative Henry Cuellar. The Department of Homeland Security has announced that they are going to reduce aerial surveillance on the Texas border by 50%. And this is at a time when we know that the border is wide open. There's a huge surge happening here. And they go on to point out that we've had a huge surge in migrants from Central America and Cuba along the southern border. So they're saying the DHS should actually be increasing surveillance and security resources, not fewer. They're citing instances, an 115% increase since 2014 in undocumented immigrants crossing. Amount of family units coming over has increased by 170%. And the El Paso sector reports an increase of almost 300% in unaccompanied minors. So indeed, what is going on here?
Well, America, if you haven't noticed, Middle Eastern and African refugees are raping, looting, and killing all over Europe. And the European establishment is condemning the citizens on their behavior, rather than that of the invading hordes of fraudulent young male refugees who claim to be fleeing war-ravaged hellholes. For years now, those refugees have been coming to America, but it hasn't been large cities like Washington, D.C. and San Francisco due to their high cost of living. It's smaller American cities that are being targeted to become refugee sanctuary cities, exactly as tiny European towns had been targeted. Rather than integrate all of the refugees into large cities where aid facilities are better funded and menial jobs may be more plentiful, the Obama administration has been directing pockets of the refugees into smaller to medium-sized American cities that are already struggling to survive. Cities like Missoula, Montana, Twin Falls, Idaho, and Stone Mountain, Georgia, a population of 6,025, where a huge boon to the economy is the tourism generated by the Stone Mountain carving of Confederate generals, the very historical monument the liberals want destroyed. It was revealed around this time last year by political analyst Susan Payne, who had inadvertently been allowed to attend an Obama White House conference call on the Syrian refugee strategy. Payne discovered that the intent of the Obama administration is to grow the Muslim seedling communities, in their words, into larger entities, eventually overtaking the smaller cities they had been given sanctuary in, as part of the greater plan to overtake the host nation. The Obama task force even discussed replacing the Thanksgiving holiday with Celebrate Immigrant Day by executive order. Their main directive being that these 15 million plus new Americans will replace the old Americans and grow as a separate nation within the United States. Obama established the Task Force on New Americans in November of 2014 in the wake of a complete breakdown of our immigration system under Obama's unconstitutional executive orders. As of today, there are well over 180,000 criminal illegal immigrants freely wandering around the United States, committing new crimes every day, according to ICE agents and members of Congress. Meanwhile, DHS Secretary Jay Johnson has issued an order to diminish aerial surveillance on the Texas border. This after Governor Abbott requested more surveillance last September, a request that was obviously ignored. The Rio Grande Valley has seen an increase of 115% in unaccompanied minors, while the El Paso border has increased by 300%. And over 28,000 Cubans entered the United States in 2015, twice the number the year before. America is no longer economically sound enough to cushion the blow of millions of refugees that actually hate everything we represent and our tax dollars pay for.
What have I got to talk to you about? What have I got to talk to you about?
What have you got to say about Islam and that, innit?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah? So why didn't you say it now?
What do you want me to say?
Yeah?
It's ideology, it's got no place.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's got no place, bro. I don't know what you like, bro. You have
Wait,
about 100 you in a minute. You f***ing little chief.
The middle class is aggressively shrinking. We've lost millions of jobs due to international trade deals. Cities are going bankrupt, and the national debt is at a record $19 trillion. Meanwhile, as 31 governors oppose the acceptance of Syrian refugees into their states, the remaining balance of our nation's officials are declaring their cities as sanctuaries at an alarming rate. Has the Paris Massacre or the San Bernardino Jihad been forgotten already? John Bound for Infowars.com.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, you can get 6 months free at prisonplanet.tv, but only for 1 more week. Next Monday, the special that only comes around once a year ends. In fact, we've never offered 6 months free before, but I really want to get more people to join and to be able to watch the nightly news, to see the live reports we do, the special reports, all my films, ebooks, and so much more. One person can share their membership with 20 people, and you are funding the absolute, very leading edge, the vanguard of the resistance to the globalist operation on every front. We have to have our own platform that is harder for them to censor, harder for the system to shut down. Prisonplanet.tv. We put out the daily radio show free with the video and audio feeds at Infowars.com/show. But it is the members that get the nightly news exclusively and first, and the commercial-free video podcast and audio podcast that are paying it forward and financing and helping so many other people see the truth when we put the videos on Facebook, YouTube, and it's prisonplanet.tv that finances so much of the cameras, the equipment, the crew, the reporters. You are becoming a prisonplanet.tv member. You get exclusive HD, higher quality, get it first, and then you can download it, share it with friends and family, share your passcode with them, your username. It's a win-win, and then you're helping finance to put it out for free to everybody. Prisonplanet.tv. Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa Pure Pro is a brand new, groundbreaking, gravity-fed water filtration system that is like no other. The Alexa Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water. Save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer, so order your unit today and receive free shipping and $20 off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139.